Joining us right now is former Democratic presidential candidate, former Ohio Congressman, and Fox News contributor Dennis Kucinich. Congressman, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning.
Your reaction to last night?
Well, first of all, let's start with some of the positive things. I think that it was very powerful, the Muslim father who talked about his family's loss of their U.S. soldier son. I mean, it's very moving. People were in tears. And then you move from that to Katy Perry. Roar. You know, I'm a Katy Perry fan. And then Chelsea's speech about her mom, very touching. I think that Hillary's, the moment she claims a nomination, that's history. So those are all, I thought, very positive moments. And then you go to the moment that I found disconcerting, and that is General Allen, who I have a lot of respect for, but he took his speech in a direction, I thought, of you know, war. And frankly, there's a lot of people in the Democratic Party who aren't ready to sign up for another war.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. Bottom line, we're talking about this huge block of undecided and the independents out there. Did the speeches last night manage to lure in that independent voter or sway voters?
I think that vote is still up for grabs, and I don't think the speeches last night, although they were delivered very well, and Hillary Clinton was absolutely at her best. I don't know that they're going to start to swing independent voters. Independent voters are looking for new visions for America. All the political attacks are not going to help candidates get that vote. The independent voters are going to look to, what are you going to do for America? What's your uplifting vision of America, and how are you going to deliver it?
What about, Congressman, what about Democrats? Do you think, you know, that was a theme of the week? As you mentioned, even last night in the hall, especially when General Allen was talking, but even when Senator Secretary Clinton was talking, there was a lot of you could tell there was a lot of discontent, and a lot of it is about, as you mentioned, what's seen as, you know, being too warlike. And indeed, the theme of the whole evening, in many ways, was the Democratic Party assuming the clothes of the Republican Party. They were actually looking like, you know, Ronald Reagan was invoked again. We had a lot of military. You talked about that very moving Muslim father of an army captain who was killed. Is the party, though, now ready to really unite behind Secretary Clinton? Because I also heard a lot of people saying, I can go vote for Jill Stein. There's other candidates out there. I could even vote for Gary Johnson, the Libertarian. Is she going to bring all the Democrats along with her?
I think she'll bring most of them, but the challenge is to bring all, and that's going to be a tough order. I think the point that you just made a moment ago about you know, some of the party putting on the clothes of a more aggressive Republican type militarism, I don't know how well that plays inside the Democratic Party. I guess we'll find out. But I want to state again that there are a number of people inside the Democratic Party who are absolutely not ready to revisit a continuation of the wars that the Democrats and Republicans took us into, and they don't want escalating tension with Russia. For the life of me, I can't understand why the Democratic Party keeps beating the drums for a confrontation with Russia.
I know why. I mean, I think it's a diversion. I mean, you know, the whole DNC email leak, they were very effective in terms of turning that into a conversation of Russia hacking America. And let's run some highlights before you get through there. Hillary's speech lasted almost an hour and had plenty of highlights with support from her daughter. We'll take a listen.
Don't believe anyone who says, I alone can fix it. Yes? Those were actually Donald Trump's words in Cleveland. Americans don't say, I alone can fix it. We say, we'll fix it together. Tonight, we've reached a milestone in our nation's march toward a more perfect union. The first time that a major party has nominated a woman for president. After all, when there are no ceilings, the sky's the limit.
Every single memory I have of my mom is that regardless of what was happening in her life, she was always, always there for me. I am so grateful to be her daughter. I'm so grateful that she is Charlotte and Aiden's grandmother. She makes me proud every single day.
Effective?
I did not hear, Congressman, I didn't hear enough, and you can jump in here, but she did not talk about the economy near enough. To quote the Wall Street Journal editorial page, Clinton is promising better results from the same policies. In her first 100 days, she wants to spend money. She wants the biggest investment in new, good-paying jobs since World War II. She talks about the government creating those jobs and not businesses. She hammered businesses for laying off people and using tax breaks. She hammered Wall Street. This is the same old, and people are disaffected. They're disconnected from this economy, and they're angry about it, and she did not talk to them.
Well, you know, as far as the emotional content with Chelsea, I thought that was very moving. But let's get into the economics. You have to make a connection between wars and the economy. We're spending trillions of dollars, and that's not really a positive for the economy because most of it's spent over there blowing up things. The thing about jobs, we have to create jobs, and one of the ways of doing it is to rebuild America's infrastructure. Now, it is true that, you know, that the government, if the private sector is not creating the jobs, where are the jobs going to come from? That's where infrastructure programs come in. And we do need to rebuild America. That's a fact. But we also need to find ways to move the private sector again. And this is where trade comes in. We cannot keep sending American business or jobs abroad with trade deals which work against the American people.
There was so much emotional focus. You're right. And again, it was sort of a reinvention convention, but not enough about the substance that people want to hear about. Look, we've got a lot to talk about, Julian. We've got to get your take on all of this. Congressman, good to see you, sir. We will see you soon. We're going to get into the jobs picture next. We're following